You ever wonder why some people move like nothing can shake them? They wake up early without complaining. They do the work without announcing it. They show up again and again even when no one claps for them. It is not because they are gifted. It is not because they were born motivated. It is because they trained for it. Their mind was forged through repetition, sharpened by resistance, until discipline became effortless. They are not special. They are trained. And you are not lazy. You are simply untrained. No one showed you how to build a mind that obeys without noise. A mind that wakes you up before comfort speaks. A mind that pushes forward when others hesitate. But that is what this video is for. Because the truth is, if you wait for motivation, you will wait forever. But if you build discipline, you will never need motivation again. So if you are serious about changing your life, if you are done with excuses, then take a second, tap the like button, subscribe to the channel. It takes less than a second, but it tells the algorithm you are choosing growth over comfort. And it keeps you locked into content that builds your mental armor every week. Now, let us talk about the mind, not as an idea, but as a muscle. You will not fix your mindset by thinking about it. You will fix it by training it, daily, deliberately, brutally, until it no longer argues with your higher self, until it obeys like a soldier. This is what the Stoics understood. You do not get stronger by hoping. You get stronger by doing. They did not wake up with calm. They built calm. They did not move with discipline because they were born different. They moved with discipline because they practiced every hour like it was war. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but he also ruled himself, and that was the harder task. He trained his mind before the world touched it. He created space between stimulus and response. And in that space, he chose who he would be. That is the root of effortless discipline. So if you are tired of living on impulse, if you are tired of breaking promises to yourself, if you are tired of being a slave to distraction, then understand this. You will not think your way to discipline. You will train your way there, brick by brick, habit by habit, until it feels as natural as breathing. By the end of this video, you will not just understand discipline, you will know how to build it. From the moment you open your eyes, to the moment you fall asleep with clarity. This is how we train. This is how we rewire the mind. This is how you become who you were meant to be. Let us begin. Morning discipline condition the mind on wake. The first moment you open your eyes is not just the start of your day. It is the beginning of a battle. And the way you respond in that battle sets the tone for everything that follows. The Stoics understood this. They knew the mind was at its weakest when comfort first speaks, and strongest when you ignore it. You want to build a disciplined life. Then it begins the second your consciousness returns. Not when you feel ready. Not when the sun is up. Not when the caffeine hits. Right then. Right there. Most people lose the day in the first 5 minutes. They open their eyes and immediately reach for a phone. They scroll into distraction. They read messages before they read themselves. They give the world access before they even greet their own mind. But not you. Not if you are serious. Not if you want to build a life worth living. You must create sacred space before the world intrudes. You must condition your mind while it is still soft. Because in that window, you are writing the program that will run your day. The Stoics did not stumble out of bed into noise. They began with stillness, with reflection. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." But he did not say scroll. He did not say snooze. He said think. Why? Because conscious direction is a choice, and discipline begins with choosing that direction before the world does. So how do you do this? You create a morning ritual, not a complicated checklist, a sacred routine that signals to your mind, we are in control now. Not comfort, not distraction, but command. You begin by waking with purpose. No snooze. The second the alarm goes, you rise. Not because you feel like it, but because you said you would. That alone is a victory, and your mind remembers it. Then you breathe, not mindlessly, but deeply. Sit up straight. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Feel your spine. Feel your body. Anchor your awareness. Now speak to yourself. Not like a motivational speech, but like a general to his soldiers. Today, we will not drift. We will not hide. We will lead. We will finish. We will endure. You are not saying this to impress yourself. You are setting the tone. You are training your mind to submit to will. You are taking charge before the chaos of a world even touches you. Then, move, even if it is simple. Stretch, push-ups, walk outside. Expose yourself to discomfort. Feel the cold. Feel the weight of responsibility. Let your body know that the day has begun, and you are in charge. Most people think discipline is only mental, but the body is the first battlefield. If you cannot make your body move when it resists, your mind will follow that same weakness. But if you command your body, your mind gets the message. We obey effort here. We do not wait to feel like it. We move, and that movement, first thing in the morning, is like setting coordinates on a ship. No matter what happens that day, you began with clarity. You began with strength, and that will ripple through every decision. You want to change your life, then win the first hour. Because if you lose that, you are reacting all day. But if you win it, you are leading. The Stoics were not perfect men, but they were disciplined. And that discipline came from simple, repeatable, non-negotiable morning actions. You must do the same. Pick a wake time. Stick to it, even when you are tired, even when no one is watching. Especially then. Pick one movement. Stick to it, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. Pick one focus. Read, journal, meditate. Do it before the phone, before the messages, before the noise. And in that stillness, you will hear the voice of your better self, the one that is buried under laziness and fear and distraction, the one that wants to lead, the one that is waiting for you to show up. When you condition the mind on wake, you condition it for life, because the first hour is not about checking boxes. It is about becoming the kind of man who chooses clarity over comfort, direction over drift, strength over softness. Every morning is a fresh opportunity, not just to start the day, but to start becoming who you were meant to be. You do not need perfection. You need repetition. You need sacred habits. You need non-negotiable discipline. And it starts every single day, the moment you open your eyes. This is where your power begins. This is where effortless discipline is born. Control your attention before it's hijacked. You can train your body. You can build muscle. You can wake early and move with purpose. But if your mind is hijacked by distraction, you are still a slave, because attention is the currency of discipline. What you give your eyes to, what you let into your thoughts in the first hour, becomes the foundation of your day. You can either aim it like a sword, or scatter it like dust. The Stoics knew this, that the quality of your day depends on the quality of your focus. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you become what you give your attention to. So if you let your focus drift into gossip, noise, entertainment, you become that. Scattered, soft, untrained. Modern life is designed to pull your mind in 1,000 directions. Notifications, dopamine hits, news you cannot control, opinions you did not ask for. And most people willingly hand their brain to the algorithm before they even wash their face. That is not discipline. That is mental slavery. So here is the rule. Guard your attention like a warrior guards the gate. You decide what enters. You decide what leaves. And nothing gets access without intention. The first hour of your day is sacred. This is when the mind is most vulnerable and most programmable. If you scroll first thing, you are training your brain to react, to compare, to consume. But if you reflect, read, plan, breathe, you train it to lead. Discipline is not about being busy. It is about choosing what matters and protecting it fiercely. This is not about deleting your apps. It is about rewiring your reflex. Your first instinct should not be consumption. It should be command. Ask yourself, who do I want to be? And what would that person focus on right now? The Stoic mind is not passive. It is aggressive in defense. It does not allow junk to land without resistance. It fights for clarity, for silence, for presence. You must learn to build a fortress around your focus. That means intentional inputs. Read from timeless minds, not trending noise. Write before you react. Reflect before you reply. Delay before you speak. Because every time you give away attention, you lose a piece of your strength. Start with one simple rule. No phone for the first hour. Replace it with breath, with words from minds greater than yours, with thoughts that shape you. This is not easy, but it is everything, because the man who controls his attention controls his world. He walks into rooms calmly. He is not pulled by drama. He sees things clearly. He leads, not reacts. Your thoughts are not accidents. They are patterns, and those patterns are built by what you allow in. So make your inputs sacred. Train your gaze. Direct your thoughts. And watch how your discipline multiplies. The man who can guard his attention can guard his life. Physical motion builds mental direction. The mind may lead, but the body is the battlefield. You can tell yourself to focus, to stay sharp, to stay disciplined. But if your body is soft, if your movements are slow, if your habits are lazy, your mind will follow. The Stoics knew the truth. You do not control your thoughts through more thinking. You control them by commanding the body first. They were not just philosophers. They were warriors, soldiers of self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius trained in the cold. He wrote at dawn. He rode into war not to conquer others, but to prove he had already conquered himself. Why? Because motion creates mind, and a weak body breeds a scattered brain. Modern comfort has destroyed this link. We sit too long. We scroll too often. We live in our heads and wonder why our thoughts race. But the Stoics moved, not for aesthetics, but for mastery. Physical motion is not about building muscle. It is about building direction. When you push through physical resistance, you send a signal to your mind. We do hard things. We move with purpose. We choose challenge over comfort. This is why your discipline is weak when your body is idle. Because you have trained it to expect ease, and the mind reflects that ease. So you want to become mentally sharp. Then move with intention. Start with what you can control. Wake and stretch. Walk in silence. Train without music. Do the reps, not to look good, but to build obedience. Voluntary discomfort is the Stoic path. cold showers, heavy lifts, long walks in silence, sweating before the sun rises. This is how you carve the noise out of your system. You sweat the excuses out. You walk the fear out. You strain the softness out of your thinking. You do not wait to feel ready. You move, and then the clarity comes. Because when you move deliberately, your thoughts slow down. Your breath becomes steady. Your posture returns. Your identity sharpens. You become the kind of man who finishes what he starts, who does not quit halfway, who does not flinch at discomfort, because his body has been trained to obey his will. And in that obedience is peace. You can meditate all you want. You can journal every morning. But if your body is soft, your mind will crack when the world pushes back. This is why the gym, the trail, the cold morning are not physical only. They are sacred. They are the temple where the old version of you dies, and the new version is built, one drop of sweat at a time. So ask yourself, do you train for strength, or do you train for control? Because one fades, but the other leads. Discipline is not created in your mind. It is carved into your muscles, etched into your posture, burned into your lungs, until effort becomes identity. That is what the Stoics knew, and that is how you build a direction so strong that even your thoughts begin to fall in line. Master the micro-resistance moments. This is where most men lose, not in big battles, but in quiet decisions, not in front of a crowd, but in a dim room, when no one is watching. Discipline does not collapse all at once. It bleeds out through small compromises. You say, I will start tomorrow. You say just one won't hurt. You say, I deserve a break. And each time you say it, you train your mind to betray you. The Stoics knew that the moments you ignore are the moments that define you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. But how do you gain that power? You win the micro-resistance moments. These are the battles that happen in seconds. When the alarm goes off and your body screams, stay down. When your workout begins and your mind whispers, skip today. When your phone lights up and the scroll tempts you into numbness. That moment, that second, is everything. You think you lose motivation, but what you really lose is command over those tiny critical windows. And the solution is not motivation. It is predecision. You must decide in advance how you respond. You must train your mind to say, we do not negotiate with weakness. Every time you win one of those battles, you rewire the brain. You build a reflex. Discipline becomes a muscle, a path, a system that obeys you even when you are tired. That is how the Stoics moved. They did not rely on emotional waves. They built a code, and they followed it, tired or not, rain or shine, praise or criticism. They obeyed their standard. So how do you train this micro-awareness? You slow everything down. You notice when the excuse begins to form, and you kill it, not with energy, but with commitment. You feel the urge. You say, I see it, but we are not doing that. Then you move. You rise. You act. Because discipline is not about delay. It is about decision. Right now. Not later. Now. Build a habit of acting immediately. Do it without debate. Without delay. Without drama. You feel resistance. You respond with motion. And as you win these seconds, you win hours. You win days. You win your life. This is how the effortless part is created. Not through hacks, not through shortcuts, but through unshakable control over the micro. Where others flinch, you move. Where others excuse, You execute. The man who wins these moments needs no applause because he has become his own proof. And that is the birth of real power. Now you understand. Discipline does not come from hype. It comes from training, from shaping your days with precision, from making discomfort your ally, and choosing action over excuses. It begins the moment you wake. It sharpens as you guard your attention. It deepens as you move with purpose. And it solidifies when you stop negotiating with weakness. You are not here to blend in. You are here to become dangerous, controlled, clear, unshakable. Most people never reach this because they wait, they overthink, they chase perfection. But you know better now. You start where you are, with what you have. You win the first moment, then the next, until discipline is no longer a fight. It is who you are. If you felt something shift inside you during this video, then do not just move on to the next. Take 1 second right now. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. It costs nothing, but it tells the algorithm you are not playing small anymore. And it keeps these principles in your mind every week. If you want to train your mind, then train it daily. And let this channel be your armor. Let this content be the sharpening stone. Until you no longer ask, how do I stay disciplined? Because the answer will be simple. I just am. We are not here to be motivated. We are here to become bulletproof. Welcome to the path. Now stay on it.